uh, uh, the most divisive bracket here, other than the Undertaker and Hulk Hogan. You have two polar opposites here in terms of John Cena and Bret Hart. John Cena, what can we say about him? The brash, young, strong-willed young guy, John Cena, coming into the league, attitude on his sleeve, really bringing in that ruthless aggression era, literally in his prototype uniform, right? Like generic as can be, but you saw the swagger in his face, the intensity that he had day one when he stepped in the ring with Kurt Angle, to continue that and basically be a main guy throughout basically his whole career, right? Like, really just had the title after that. I believe he battled Brock Lesnar and Big Show and all these other guys, Undertaker, especially going up against the Undertaker as a young rookie, being the young Punk to being one of the best world champions of all time. The longevity, the consistent ability to come in and come out. Of course, he had charisma. And then moving on to Bret Hart, a guy that had to battle up. Wasn't that guy that was pegged from day one to be that guy. Basically, the new generation era was Bret Hart, the excellence of execution, pure wrestling talent. When you think about Bret Hart and his longevity in terms of that, his ability in ring, I can't speak enough about Bret Hart and how he was just one of the best technical wrestlers. When you watch wrestling with Bret Hart, you know you were going to get a good match, an intense match. The ability to have different various types of matches. I believe he had the first ladder match with Shawn Michaels. I believe, before years later with Razor Ramon and HBK at WrestleMania. He was able to have that match in terms of being creative and being probably one of the best in-ring workers of all time. Where do you guys stand on this one? I'm probably going to lean John Cena, just because I just remember how brash he was and his longevity. And yeah, I'm just going to go John Cena on this one. This one's tough. But it's polar opposites in terms of what you want in wrestling, because people say John Cena can't wrestle, he can't do this and that, whatever the case may be, against one of the best all time. It's crazy. This is crazy.
I don't know how people can say John Cena can't wrestle. Like, this man, like, I get the whole, like, he was doing the same moves.
5 moves of doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we're all a lot of other superstars.
Exactly.
I mean, every superstar has like a set of moves that they do to get to their finish. It's just that John Cena's was more obvious than the others were. So every superstar has that cadence to get to the finish. That's why.
And I feel like John Cena would pull out like almost, I don't know, not every match, but later on he started pulling out way different moves. Like he was pulling out
again the second half of his career.
Yeah, he was just like pulling out like leg drops from the top rope. He's fucking doing not the Panama Sunrise, but it's kind of like the flip and like into the pin kind of, and then like
the Hurricane.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Hurricane Rana, but it was like it's kind of what Ray does when he gets on their back and then they flip over.
I know what you're talking about. The Code Red.
Yeah, something like that.
The Canadian.
Yeah, just pulling other stuff out. So I'm like to say that John Cena can't wrestle. Yes, probably Bret is more technically well-rounded, like a Daniel Bryan, all the Kurt Angle, like more on like the wrestling mat side of it. Yeah, of course, Bret was up there with like, the Hard Dungeon, like the technique, everything. Like he was that well-rounded wrestler. Legacy, though, I'm sorry, John Cena is just, to me, he's just much bigger. He's another one that stands the test of time. As much as a lot of people hate him and they're like, but and it's crazy to think that he started off as a heel. And I kind of wish there was that. I kind of wanted more John Cena heel, even though he never went back, but still, everything he's done in the WWE to, same as The Rock transition into movies and to still be as big as an attraction as he is, you can't deny who he is as a wrestler. Yeah, I give Bret his flowers. He inspired literally almost every wrestler that's coming after him. But I think John Cena still is just a couple levels up above him.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'll say this about. Oh, you can go ahead, Brian. You can go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So let me show my respect to Bret Hart, because I'm pretty much agreeing with you guys about John Cena. But when you look at Bret Hart, how he started being in the Hart Foundation with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, becoming I believe they became tag team champions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see he branches out on his own. He wins the Intercontinental title from Roddy Piper. And when WWE was trying to get away from the Hulk Hogan era, and they wanted to start the I guess they called it, what is it called, the new generation, the new era, what they call it. Bret Hart was the face of it, between him, Shawn Michaels, and Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. So in ring wise, obviously, probably if not one of the best in ring technicians of all time. I mean, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. In ring wise, he really was. When you think about Bret the Hitman Hart, I mean, definitely a favorite in my family as well. But then I look at John Cena. I mean, we've pretty much all witnessed the whole career of John Cena. I mean, we watched John Cena what 04, what was it, 04 that he came out, 04, 05, maybe 2003? 2002 maybe?
I think it's 03.
03. Yeah, so what were we, like, maybe 12, 13 at the time? Yeah, so we pretty much lived through the whole John Cena era if we were watching WWE all through those years. I mean, when you see where he came from initially as a heel, the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick, how people initially thought it wasn't going to work, that you can't have a white rapper, you'll kill his career, but then what it ended up turning into, and then he wins, and then he wins the WWE title, and beforehand when he won the US title and turned it into a spinner belt, which
worst belt ever.
I mean, they sold replicas. So I mean, that's the whole.
They did. They totally did.
Is John Cena Hulk Hogan in sheep's clothing?
I was just.
Is John Cena a culture vulture?
I mean, when you look at like, because through every era or every decade of WWE, you always have that guy who's featured as the face. You start with Hulk Hogan, and then you probably move up to maybe Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and then you move up to Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rock, and then after Austin, as far as like a generational guy, then you got John Cena, and then after John Cena, you have Roman Reigns right now. But John Cena, think about it, he was on top. He had like a decade run where like WrestleManias were built around him. I mean, if you think about from like WrestleMania, I think from like WrestleMania 21 to 27, he was in a world title match or in the main event during that time period. And then 28 and 29 were his two matches against The Rock. So during that time period, John Cena was the face of WWE. When initially he went from Doctor of Thugonomics to then becoming the leader of the C Nation, that character change. Like Lewis, I do agree with that we did get some more heel John Cena, and I think apparently that during the feud with The Rock, we were gonna get it. John Cena, I think Cena did like an interview with Chris Jericho on the WWE Network. I think that show is still up on Peacock now. Whereas then he said that like initially he was gonna go heel. I mean, he had new music, new gear already ready to go, and then ultimately last minute they decided to change their mind. Guess we need
to see images in that music released.
Yeah,
we need to see that. Like wherever we need to talk to John Cena, find him wherever he is, and like, yo, we need to see what that idea was.
Yeah,
at least because it's like we needed that.
Yeah, we really did need a heel John Cena. I mean, you see what Roman Reigns is doing right now. I mean, if they even have the semblance to do that with John Cena, but it was
I think John Cena was actually a good heel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Sells too much merchandise. He makes too much money.
Not saying he was top tier, but still.
Just saying. Roman Reigns is a beast.
But then in ring wise, when you see the progression of John Cena, I mean, when he first came out, it was kind of really more about the character that was so good that drew you to him. But he kept getting better and better in the ring as the years went on. I don't know if you guys remember 2015, but if you go back to that year in ring wise, it was John Cena's best year. That was the year he had the match with the feud with Kevin Owens. Those 3 matches that they had. That was the year he was U.S. champion, having the U.S. Open Challenge every week on Raw, putting together banger matches against people. I remember like the series he had with like Cesaro. That was 2015. Yeah, I mean he had a match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam that year. Even though the finish was shitty in ring wise, that was a great match. So
John Stewart.
Yep, that bullshit. And then the following year, I think he had the match at SummerSlam with AJ Styles, or the feud with AJ Styles, and the matches that they had were top tier. So yeah, when you look at overall, and then you see what John Cena's doing now, being in movies, about to be in Fast 10 that's about to drop in a couple of weeks. So I gotta go John Cena.
I mean, I just want to say this about Bret Hart, because he was that first technical guy. We had Ricky Dragon, Steamboats, and other guys who were good in the ring, but Bret Hart was the first one to stand out like that nature, be that top guy, especially for WWF, to be that technical wrestler, right? That, like, he birthed basically Daniel Bryan. He birthed basically Kurt Angle, I feel like. They're of that cloth. Chris Benoit. All these other guys of that cloth there. So his work, technical-wise, of course, is just, when you think technical wrestling, you don't think Bret Hart. I'm not going to try to disrespect him on this one, but again, it's just John Cena. Crossover ability, longevity. No fault of his own. Of course, Lewis is going to like this. Bret Hart's career was ended because of Bill Goldberg. You know what I mean? Like we maybe Bret Hart could have saved WCW. Who knows? But
it was too late.
It was too late by then. There was nobody that could save that shit. No. Once that merger happened with Time Warner and AOL, that company was done.
We're not going to get
because the NWO decided to bring everybody and their mother into the group.
We're not going to talk about the downfall of WCW. But
we'll do that on the show.
Yeah, we need a whole nother show for that. But in terms of John Cena, just the crossover ability, the longevity, of course, when Brian said we all watched that when we were 12, 13 years old, seeing him burst onto the scene and be as impactful he was. Yeah, like John Cena, we all cheered for John Cena, even when he was a heel. The catchphrases, the swagger, similar kind of to The Rock in that sense of just being young and brash. Word life, the brass knucks, the lock. Like, we all remember that. You know what I mean?
I remember when he smacked Stephanie McMahon's ass.
Yeah, like all that stuff. Like, and that's how that was birthed. Like, right? Like Stephanie McMahon heard him rapping on the back of the bus one day. And that's how he got his start, right? Like, that's how that gimmick came about. And it's just like, just thinking about how John Cena, his rise, his stability, his ability to get better, all of that intertwined into his career, where he's at right now, the ability to come back. He battled Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, battled Austin Theory at WrestleMania, being able to work with various people, improving his ring work. It's just got to be John Cena, man. Like, I love Bret Hart, what he's done, his matches, his era. I think people overlook Bret Hart a lot, but I gotta go John Cena. Go John Cena with that one,
and
man.
He tore down Roman in that promo. He said, "They brought me back because you can't get over." Oh.
We're not going to destroy our number 8 seed here. They're on opposite sides of the bracket. But it's going to be interesting here because we have our second. What's happening here? Can I remove that? Here we go. We got our second round all set up here. As soon as I'm able to share it. We got our second round here. We got Ric Flair versus Roman Reigns. We got The Undertaker versus Steve Austin. An Attitude Era matchup. We got The Rock versus Chris Jericho. And we got John Cena versus Shawn Michaels as that continues.
Oh my God!
It doesn't get any easier.
Oh my God!
It doesn't get any easier.
Yo, this second round is going to be crazy.
Oh my goodness!
Austin Taker, come on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get any easier, folks.
The box office
John
draw
Cena versus Shawn Michaels. That's
greatest
not getting easy.
The box office draw versus the greatest character in wrestling history. Come on.
Yeah, you got the best right now versus the best probably ever. You got The Rock, the masters of the catchphrases in that one. And then you got two guys that are timeless. Crazy.
Oh my God.
As this continues to break down, we're going to continue this next week, of course. We're going to be also giving you our Backlash previews. And then we're finally going to see the actual iteration of the draft here on Raw as we come back next week. So we're going to see how that breaks down. We'll go over that. We'll go over picks. We'll go over the second round. We'll go over all that. This is going to be crazy as it continues. As always, thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.